Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're doing an 8-4 Dragons of Tarkir Fate Reforged draft. Opened on Offenza, which is certainly worthy of a first pick. This card can very much take a game over. I would think, right? I actually haven't played with... actually, I want to say, I think I did actually play against it, but I certainly haven't played with it yet. So, certainly worthy of a first pick here. Other good picks. Ambushers are good. Bowmaster's good. Pretty good green picks in here. Other than that, it's a pretty weak pack, to be honest. Beyond the green picks, there's really nothing special in here. Forerunners is fine. And Dutiful Attendant and Reckless Imp are like okay. Spellfist Anticipate okay. So this pack is definitely like green centric. But let's take the Anaffenza to start it off. All right. Follow-up pick. Well, pretty tempted to just slam a pacifism. Certainly pairs the best with our first pick. I think the best cards in the pack are the Corpse Weft, the Atarka Efreet, and the Epic Confrontation, and the Flatten. But pacifism is still premium removal. I would say it's probably the weakest it's ever been in this format, but if I end up something white and aggressive, which Anaffenza certainly wants me to do, pacifism I would think shines the most in an aggressive white deck. If you're a slower deck, I think pacifism's gonna present some problems, like creatures with activated abilities or your opponents still get formidable. You know, your opponent's the most obvious one, the exploit issue with pacifism, any sort of bounce effect. There's plenty of problems with pacifism. Anti-enchant removal. It's still premium removal. I'm still second picking it. Okay, so staying on color is the Lightwalker. The best card in the pack is the Survivalist, which is certainly a good out for the pacifism. I did sort of did I just say piss? Excuse me. I did not piss. I passed a green signal, and I feel like if I take the Survivalist now, it's too early of a swap. Whereas Lightwalker is a card that's going to pair really well with Anaffenza. Extremely well with Anaffenza. Turn 2 Anaffenza, turn 3 Lightwalker. Voila. You got yourself a nice 3/2 flyer for 2 mana. So I'm fine picking the Lightwalker here. I do think the Survivalist is the best card in the pack, but let's go Lightwalker rather. Okay. So what now? We've got the Damnable Pact, which is a fine card. We have the Tactician, which is also fine. Champion, which probably plays once again pretty well with Anaffenza. I think Tactician's a better card than Champion. And Tactician also plays well with the Lightwalker too. So I don't see any cards that tell me I'm supposed to be in a second color, or directly tell me what second color I'm supposed to be in yet. So let's just take the pacifism and be fine with that. Okay, Bowmaster, 5th pick. There is the Artful Maneuver though. There's a Palace Familiar. Bowmaster is very good. Might be the time to just pick it. I certainly think Bowmaster is a better card than Artful Maneuver. So do I want to branch into green now? I mean, Palace Familiar is a fine card as well. But maybe it is time to move into green. Basically, I'll give up an Artful Maneuver for a pretty good 4-mana card. I think I'm going to take Bowmaster. Yeah, I'm not giving... I mean, Artful Maneuver, giving that up is might present an issue, but I'd rather have a Bowmaster and end up in green than miss out on... Like, I'm not going to be... Basically, what I'm trying to say is if I miss out on Artful Maneuver, it's not the end of the world. All right, a couple more good blue picks in here. No green picks, though. Immediately that dried up. Could take the Center Soul. I guess we take the Belltoll Dragon. Could be the sign we need that maybe the blue is open instead, and then we can move into blue-white flyer. But I don't like either of the white cards that much to stay. I think Belltoll Dragon is powerful enough to take over Center Soul and Dramoka Dunecaster. Somehow Center Soul is just not been as good as I guess originally thought it was going to be. All right, well, I think it's a pretty easy Sunstriker here, which is, once again, very good card with Onofenza and Aven Tactician, so certainly fine with that pick. And I guess Inspiring Call actually works pretty well alongside Onofenza too, but I want this Sunstriker quite a bit. Okay, this is fine with me. We can take Herald of Dramoka, we can take Sandstorm Charger, we can take Echoes of the Kin Tree. Echoes certainly works well with Sunstriker and Lightwalker. So I could take it. I like Sandstorm Charger, but I think Herald and Echoes of the Kin Tree are a bit more exciting, just based on the deck we're playing, I think. I think I'm actually going to take the Herald. You know, I like Echoes of the Kin Tree, but you can end up with a deck that doesn't have enough 2-drops, and I actually really like the Herald. Herald has played better than I originally gave it credit for, because on turn 2, attacking into morphs and stuff with the Vigilance to keep it, you know, to be able to defend with it too is just really nice. I guess Onofenza is not a warrior, but Lightwalker is, and even Sunstriker is as well, so how about Bowmaster? Makes sense, they're archers. Alright, I can take Spellfist here. Pretty much Dunecaster's just really unimpressive, so we'll take the Spellfist just in case we end up in the old blue-white. Alright, I think Territorial Rock is fine. I mean, it's good with Onofenza, but I think I can find better later. I think I actually want this Monument, just in case I end up in green. I think we might have missed the window on green, and it might be that we're supposed to be moving to blue, but I don't really like Dance of the Skywise all that much, so let's take the Monument just in case. Alright, none of these cards matter. We'll cut white, because we're definitely white. Alright, Spider Silk Net I think is actually an acceptable card. Sideboard, at the very least. None of these matter, I guess. Dunecaster, sure. Would prefer to not play the Dunecaster, but we can leave it in for now. I guess it becomes a 1-3 if you have an Onofenza out, right? So, or possibly a 1-3 if that's the one that gets bolstered. Okay, so we know we're white. Oh, well, Dramoka's Command. How much is this worth now? I remember I passed it when it was worth like 9. I was really kicking myself over that. Well, it's still worth around 5, so certainly worthy of the pick here. Otherwise, I think it would be Pacifism or... Nah, I think it would be Pacifism over Shieldhide Dragon, but Dramoka's Command. So what are all the cool things I can do with this? I can prevent damage from instants or sorceries. I can make someone sack an enchantment. I can put a counter on a creature, and I can make creatures fight. Wow. You know, that actually is a pretty good mix of stuff. I feel like I'm likely to misplay this card just because there's so many good modes on it. Okay, so I can take the Tread Upon, which certainly isn't the best card in the pack. I can take the Sarkhan's Rage. I feel like that is actually the best card in the pack, although there is an Ojutai Interceptor. There were some late blue picks coming around. I mean, Interceptor is certainly good. Certainly good with Onofenza as well. I mean, Dramoka's Command certainly motivates me to want to stick with green. I do think Tread Upon is certainly worse than Interceptor. Monument tabled last time. Rage on the splash is probably acceptable, but I guess I'll take the Tread Upon. I think there's a pretty good chance it tables, but I'll take it anyway. I think it's time to solidify myself into a color. All right, I kind of want Lightwalker here again. It's just works well with the Command, works well with the Tactician, works well with the Onofenza. We've already got 3 cards that have a pretty positive interaction with it, so I don't see why not. Hope to table Sandstorm Charger, Herd Chaser Dragon. A couple Evolving Wilds, I guess, wouldn't hurt, but let's take Lightwalker number 2. All right, great Teacher's Decree. This might be the time. This might be the time. There is a Dromoka Warrior, however, but I kind of want this Great Teacher's Decree. It's a powerful effect, especially if I end up with like just an Omega amount of cheap creatures. I really think Great Teacher's Decree is a game changer. I do think Dromoka Warrior is very good too, but this might be my only opportunity to pick up a Great Teacher's Decree, so I think I'm going to take it. Okay, so now we have Artillerist. I think we're likely to just take the Enduring Victory over the Scion, get a little bit more removal. Currently we're just rocking the Pacifism and Dromoka's Command, so let's take the victory. Good removal spell. Alright, second Herald of Dromoka, but there is a Bowmaster again. I think at this point I'm just going to solidify myself into green-white. And I guess I would prefer to have the Bowmaster to the Herald of Dromoka, but I'm not exactly sure on that. I think Bowmaster is likely better. 3/4 reach or potential 4/5 reach if I have the if I pay the Megamorph. We can leave them in their hard casting spot. I actually feel like you end up hard casting Bowmaster just as often as you morph it. So yeah, I wouldn't mind a second Herald, but I'm going to take the second Bowmaster instead. Okay. I think we'll probably just take the student here. I always forget what this does, and I'm always disappointed when I read it. If I reveal the dragon, I can draw a card. Well, white draw a card is good, but this card's really not what I'm trying to do. A 0/4 defender with flying, but not really what I'm looking for. Let's take the student. I guess student's not exactly what I'm looking for either, but it's certainly a fine card. We don't have to be beat down either, necessarily. We can be more of a green-white win through value sort of deck. I mean, so far we're doing fine. I like how the deck's shaping up. All right, well, Colossadon Yearling rather is pretty good, and I'm not really giving up anything on color otherwise. So, all right, makes me feel good about green from this direction. Let's see. So I can take a champ now. I think I don't mind taking Vial here. We're currently a tad bit removal light, and Vial is acceptable removal. It's never exciting. I don't really like Battle Mastery enough to take it. Maybe if I had a Graceblade Artisan, I'd be much more inclined to snatch it up. But I'm also Champion. You know, honestly, I haven't seen this card played yet, I don't think either. Whereas Vial of Dragonfire actually kills things, which is pretty nice. All right, I'll take Center Soul now. Still a chance we main deck it. Glad we tabled the Sandstorm Charger. I like that more than the Scavenger, I think. Although, once again, Scavenger works better with the Lightwalkers, I guess. But my issue is, the reason I like the Charger is a 4/5 body. I think I've said this a few times. 4/5 body in this format is very good. I don't mind the Scavenger either, but I'm going to take the Charger. All right, tabling Artful Maneuver is a very good sign. So, Stormrider Rig. I guess we're not likely to play it, but it's something I can be open to. So, cards I would like to not play probably include Dromoka Dunecaster and Stormrider Rig. And I guess even Vial of Dragonfire to a certain degree probably is not making the main deck, but wow. Good blue rare open, but we're not going to take that. I think it's a pretty easy Valorous stance, actually. It's a pretty fantastic card. Protection or removal are very nice. Two very nice modes to have, so let's take that as our 23rd card. I guess technically we could play 16 lands, considering we have a Monument and we currently top out at 5 mana with a grand total of 2 spells. But for now, let's just first pick this Valorous stance pretty happily. Okay, so I think now, well, this is actually a little bit more difficult. Sandstep Outcast is going to work much better with, I guess Anafenza doesn't count the token, but it still works with Anafenza, and it's going to work better with Great Teacher's Decree, but I guess we're a little bit creature light now. It's hard to pass a Sandblast, but synergistically speaking, Sandstep Outcast is pretty nice here. I mean, I guess it really does only have synergy with the Great Teacher's Decree. So maybe I just need this Sandblast as another piece of removal. I'm a little bit worried that I'm creature light because I am, but I think we're going to see at least a couple more creatures. And it's not guaranteed I'm going to see premium removal like Sandblast, because I do consider Sandblast pretty premium removal. So I'm going to take it over the awesome synergistically with our Great Teacher's Decree, Sandstep Outcast, but I'm going to accept that. I'll live. Okay. Dragon Bell Monk, I think, is pretty easily to pick here. Still a card that works well with Great Teacher's Decree, so immediately rewarded. Let's just take out the Dunecaster now and the Stormrider rig, I think. Everything else seems fine, and we do need some more creatures that aren't O2s. So let's take this Monk. Okay. Wow, Arc Bond. Card is strong. How good is Frontier Mastodon in here? I don't have a lot of 4-power guys, unfortunately. But I am a bit creature light. Could take the Einok Guide. I don't really feel comfortable taking an Arc Bond and splashing it with no fixing. Especially since I'm a little bit creature light still. So it's really, I guess it's Einok Guide versus Frontier Mastodon. Well, I think I'm actually going to take the Einok Guide. And that, playing Einok Guide actually, at this point, highly motivates me to play 16 lands. Yes, I could take the Skirmisher too, which is probably pretty good with Onofenza. But I think I actually like the idea of playing Guide plus 16. That makes me more comfortable playing 16 lands. Okay. I'm a big Sky Captain fan. Only other good cards for us in here, well, nothing really, I guess. Fire Enforcers and Warflare are good cards. And Boom Keg I'm starting to think is actually more playable than I usually give it credit for, but I think it's a pretty easy Sky Captain here. And I'm likely to upgrade our, I guess, Center Soul main deck. I already have the Valorous Stance as creature protection, so Center Soul seems a bit worse. Let's take the Sky Captain. Okay. Wow. Another choice between Sandblast and Outcast? Man. I think I'm still going Sandblast. Seems like a pretty nice upgrade to Vial of Dragonfire. I gotta say that. Granted, we only have, 14 creatures, but it's too tough to pass a Sandblast, man. This card is good. Sky Captain number 2, I think, is certainly getting the go-ahead. What are we cutting for it? Could cut the Tread Upon, I guess. Makes that pick a little bit less exciting in retrospect, but let's cut the Tread Upon for the 4-drop. I think that's fine. Huge Stone Retainer. You know, nothing else here that matters, so I guess I take it. I have a lot of 2-drops. So theoretically, if I think of this as like a 5-drop that requires me to play another spell in the turn, that could work. Abzan Sky Captain, yeah, or Rune Mark rather. I think that's okay. I think I'm just gonna hate a Cunning Strike here. It feels like a card that's pretty good against us. Not insane, but certainly the best card remaining in this pack. All right, wow, Honors Reward and Pressure Point. Both are pretty good options, actually. Honors Reward, I think I just have to take with double Lightwalker. It's a little bit too good to pass up here. And I may even run it. Honestly, I think I might run it over this Artful Maneuver. I think that's the plan. I think Huge Stone Retainer is likely just not happening. All right, Abzan Advantage. I didn't get any Naturalize or whatever the other one's called, effects. So I think I'm going to take this for the sideboard. Channel Harm, I guess technically is something I can play. Yeah, I'm not giving up anything for it, so I'll take it. I don't think I'm likely to play it, but I could sideboard it. Same with a Boom Keg. I don't know why I'd have to sideboard that, but... Alright, so the good news about our deck is our deck looks good. We have a solid little beatdown plan, and we have plenty of removal, and we have plenty of tricks, and we have plenty of creatures. So there really isn't a shortcoming to this deck per se. I do think I may want to consider cutting the monument for an artful maneuver, since I have the Inoc guide to help us find lands if we need it. And I do want a pretty good creature count, but Dromoka Monument only kind of counts as a creature in my mind. Doesn't strike me as a monument deck. It much more strikes me as a artful maneuver deck, getting that nice combat trick. Yeah, I like this deck quite a bit. I certainly think even if you put everything in their hard mana cost position, we're really not that heavy of we're really not a mana intensive deck at all. And I can easily count Inoc Guide as a land if I want. At least it puts a land on top of my deck. So I have no problems running Inoc Guide. We're almost borderline mono white. I mean, honestly, I could play mono white, but the green cards we have certainly incentivize me, especially the command, to play green in this deck. And we're a little bit white intensive, but I could easily get away with 7 green sources, I think, with the Bowmasters being megamorphable. I like this deck. Pacifism, Valorous Stance, Double Sandblast, Enduring Victory. Dromoka's command is a very nice suite of removal. So, yes, I do like this deck a lot. Weakest card I'm running. It's all good. I mean, there is certainly somebody that could argue I maybe should run 17 lands in this deck, but I'm pretty unconvinced. Our curve is low, and we have an Inoc Guide, like I said. I'm going to count this Inoc Guide as a 17th land source, or even if you want to count it as half a mana, I'm happy to run this deck at 16.5 lands pretty comfortably. I don't think that's a problem. I think we're just going to end up using Inoc Guide to find lands more often than not. But the fact that it still triggers my Anafenza, it still gives me more creatures to abuse with Great Teacher's Decree. I think this deck is very much okay at 16 lands. So let's get our mana base going here. I mean, we gotta definitely run more plains than certainly running more plains than forests, but I think we do 9/7 and we're fine. Guess technically I could no, I think 9/7 is actually fine. Because if I open a hand with Inoc Guide and I say have 2 forests, being able to find a white mana is still fine. And having 9 white, I feel like I'm at least going to see 1 white in the beginning. And I guess I could have some issues casting Anafenza on turn 2. But I think 9 is enough to hope to see 2 white on turn 2. Overall, I like this deck. I think it's good. I think it's a pretty interesting little green-white beatdown deck. So, yeah, I think it looks powerful. I like it. Seems like something I can comfortably play. I'm not overly concerned about getting mana screwed, since at 3 mana, our deck can do a lot. And at 4 mana, our deck can do mostly everything. And at 5 mana, we've got everything. And like I said, Inoc Guide, I really do think is going to help with mana issues we may or may not have. So I'm going to run it like this, and we'll see you round 1.